It was the summer of 1995, and a group of kids from different parts of the country had gathered at Camp Lakewood, a remote summer camp in the heart of the woods. The camp had been in operation for over 50 years, and generations of families had sent their children there. As the kids arrived, they couldn't help but feel excited about the adventures that awaited them. But as soon as they settled in, strange things started happening. They heard noises in the woods at night and saw shadows moving in the trees. One night, a group of kids decided to sneak out of their cabins and explore the woods. As they walked deeper into the woods, they stumbled upon an old abandoned cabin. Inside, they found a strange symbol etched onto the floor and walls. As they tried to leave the cabin, they realized that they were being followed. The predator was quick and stealthy, and seemed to be toying with them. The kids soon realized that the camp was not what it seemed. The counselors were distant and seemed to know more than they let on. The predator was not just a wild animal, but something much more sinister. As the days went by, the kids tried to piece together the clues they had found. They discovered that the camp was built on ancient burial grounds, and that the symbol they had found was a sign of an ancient curse. As the final night of camp approached, the predator became more aggressive. The kids knew they had to take matters into their own hands. They banded together and used their wits and bravery to defeat the predator and break the curse. But as they left Camp Lakewood, they couldn't shake the feeling that something had followed them home. They knew they had encountered something that was beyond their understanding, and that they could never forget the terror they had faced in those woods. From that summer on, they became the closest of friends, bonded forever by the terror they had faced at Camp Lakewood. They never spoke of it again, but the memories of that summer haunted them for the rest of their lives. The ghostly road trip. Sarah, Eric, and Lily had been planning their road trip for months. They had saved up money and were determined to make it the trip of a lifetime. They had everything planned out: the route, the stops, the music, and the snacks. However, they could never have predicted what they were about to face. As they hit the road, they felt a rush of excitement and freedom. They talked and laughed, taking in the beautiful scenery as they drove through the countryside. The sun was setting, and they were getting ready to pull over for the night when they saw an old abandoned gas station. It was the perfect place to spend the night. As they settled in, they began to hear strange noises coming from outside. It sounded like footsteps, but when they went to investigate, there was no one there. They shrugged it off, thinking it was just their imagination. However, things only got worse from there. The next day, they started their journey again, but the car suddenly broke down in the middle of nowhere. They were stranded, with no signal, and no idea where they were. They started walking, hoping to find help, and soon came across an old farmhouse. It was run down, and the windows were boarded up, but it was their only hope. As they approached the house, they began to feel a strange sense of dread. They knocked on the door, but no one answered. They tried the handle, and to their surprise, it was unlocked. They stepped inside, and the door slammed shut behind them. It was pitch black, and they couldn't see a thing. They fumbled for their flashlights, but they were gone. They heard whispers and laughter, and soon they realized that they were not alone. The ghosts of the family that once lived in the farmhouse were there with them, and they were angry. They tried to escape, but the doors and windows were locked. The ghosts were relentless, and they chased the friends through the house. Sarah, Eric, and Lily were terrified, and they knew that they had to find a way out before it was too late. They stumbled upon an old trunk in the attic, and inside they found a map of the area. They realized that the farmhouse was built on an ancient burial ground, and the ghosts were angry because their final resting place had been disturbed. They knew what they had to do. They took the map and set out to find the burial ground. They dug up the bones and placed them back in their rightful resting place. The ghosts disappeared, and the friends were finally free. As they continued on their road trip, they knew that they would never forget the horrors they had faced. They also knew that they would never forget the lesson they had learned. Sometimes, the past should be left undisturbed, or you may have to face the consequences.